week too. The wonderful thing about us is that we're duplicable. Huh, guys? Definitely. Everyone can do better. So it's great. So welcome to our team call tonight on the 20th of November. It's almost Christmas. Crazy. Crazy. Tonight's team call is the second part to qualifying builders. So we did the first part last week. We'll summarise it briefly, but it's the second part to that. So it's the three-way call. If you don't know what the three-way call is, you're about to learn. Okay, so just a couple of announcements. Very exciting this week. Woo! BOGOs. So buy one, get one frees this week. So today's was all right, but we're hoping they're going to get better and better as the week goes on. So watch out. Every day this week there's going to be a buy one, get one free offer from doTERRA. And it is while stocks last. So sometimes they run out, sometimes they don't. Now, some of you have had postage delays over the last 2 or 3 weeks. So we just wanted to clarify a couple of things. doTERRA have made an announcement that they are upscaling next year's operation in Europe by 3 times what they envisage. So next year, all the postage issues will be all sorted. However, for the next 6 weeks, if you can bear with doTERRA, okay, so they're almost up to date. They're about a day or 2 behind. If there are orders that are outstanding, what they need is they need you to let them know what the orders and the order numbers are, because there has been an issue with the system because a couple of batches didn't go through because of the amount of orders. So if you have got customers that are saying it's 9-10 days old, and we've heard of a couple, please contact customer service or tell Lisa Rooney on the Facebook group, and she can get you to email her privately with all the details so they can get that sorted. Because some of those orders have just gone missing. So they'll find it, but you need to let them know. Okay. So that's postage. So it's really exciting. Massive growth. doTERRA has gone ahead of doTERRA's expectations. Because of that, they haven't been able to keep up as good as they wanted to do. So what they're saying is that 7 days is for, if you tell your customers at the moment, 7 days is the premium service, 9 days is the standard service, and it might be that they have to keep to that. They'll try not to. They'll try to do their 2-day normal service, resume that. But if you can tell your customers otherwise, it's like at Christmas, customers are going to be very upset if you don't tell them accurate times, and so they can order in time. So just be aware of that, okay, guys? Rebecca, did you want to announce the charity bit?
Yes. So Tumaini ongoing. We've got 2 weeks left to raise $10,000 to build this, or to get the land to build this much needed school in Kenya. I think the last time we looked, it was about $500. So we've got a little bit of a way to go, but I've been racking my brain this last week, coming up with lots of different ideas. So I'm doing lots of different ideas as well. That if you do feel like this is something that you'd like to help out with, then whatever you can donate will be wonderful. We'll be very grateful. And so if you go to doterra.com, under the tab Our Caring, under Make a Donation, and then search for, it's just, if you scroll down, you'll see Tumaini Children's Charity, and whatever you donate becomes double. So that's great. Thanks.
The weekly challenge we will do in a bit. So exciting to reveal who won that, and then we'll go through our new weekly challenge for this week. I put Jamie, but it wasn't Jamie. It was James. I shouldn't have put Jamie. Sorry, James. Are you on the call tonight? Well, if he comes on, then we'll get him to do his oil experience. Okay. So, and we'll see if Sarah comes on later.
She's sick.
Okay.
But we're going to have Saskia share instead. She's just
Saskia.
got back. So Saskia, so the person that was going to share the business tips tonight, she just texted me to say she's feeling really poorly, so she'll share another week. But I've just literally texted Saskia because I saw she was on, and she's just texted me back saying yes, she'll share it. So she hasn't had very much notice. It was going to be very natural, which is wonderful. Saskia joined us in May.
I think it was like
June.
4 months ago.
Okay. And she's doing very, very well. She has got a lot of network marketing experience as well that she's brought with her. But I'd like Saskia to please, if you can unmute yourself, Saskia, and share some tips of what you're doing, because you're, doing very well.
And she's grown it very organically with a customer base. So.
Yes.
Are you there, Saskia?
Hi.
Hey, thanks for doing this at short notice.
Okay, no problem. So first things, please, my English not so good, so please forgive me for my bad English. So my experience is 16 years in aromatherapy in Germany. I start my experience with Lisa Berg in her company Lekisma, and now we are again together. I signed up not in the last week of June, and
I knew it wasn't that long, Saskia, in my mind.
And today I have in my line 51 people. Yes, and where I found my people, and which is my way to share doTERRA. The first things, I come from the medical side, and for me it's very important to give the people a simple way to a healthy lifestyle. And that is the perfect way when they come to doTERRA and have the very great oils for her family. But for me, it's a little bit important to go a little bit more inside in the medical side. And so I go to the nurse course and make trainings for nurses and doctors to say what is the simplest way to have a good experience with with the oils, and that's a very fantastic way. Also, I go and make for free aroma touch and hand aroma touch in hospitals and also in hospice. The most important for me, it's for the children's, and I think it's a good way to give a little bit back and with a very small time. And where I found my people, I can say go to small fairs, go to small company groups. Network is for me one of the important things, and for me it's very important not the network on Facebook or whatever. It's still a little bit small things, but for me it's much more important when you work with a healthy experience, you need to personally contact the people. And that is what I can say to all the people. Please go out of your rooms and go to a face-to-face and work with a realistic and not on the in your home. You sit alone in your home and talk with people you never seen in realistic. I think when you will have a long good experience, you'll need a personal contact, and then the people will stay with you for a long time and understand much more from all of this, what you can give from doTERRA to all the people in the world.
Thank you very much, Saskia. Thanks, you. Saskia. And just, Saskia was extremely successful in her previous network, and so we're very excited to have her in our team, and you have a lot to share, so thank you. And Saskia's going for, can we say what you're going for this month?
No pressure. That's too much pressure. There's too much pressure on Saskia.
Yeah. Well, she's doing very well anyway, and like Nathan said, growing it all organically, and it's wonderful to see. So thank you very much, Saskia, for those tips.
It's a precious metal, isn't it, you're going after? All right.
Thank you, Saskia, especially for the last minute notice.
No problem.
Oh, I've got to share it.
Got to share it again, yeah.
Okay. I don't know if any of you have heard of Diamond Club, but there's very exciting opportunities. Some people are doing Diamond Club right now. Now, I'll just explain what Diamond Club is. So Diamond Club is a challenge run by doTERRA, encouraging you to work with team members to help them and yourself enroll a minimum of 18 people per month. Okay, so that's the goal, what you're trying to do. And it's over, this next Diamond Club is going to be over 4 months. So it's enrolling 18 people a month over 4 months. Sorry, 18 people a month. Yeah, over a 4-month period. So that's 18 every month. Now, the reason why you would do Diamond Club is for these reasons. So customers who enroll at a Diamond Club event, they receive a free oil. So every month, doTERRA say, look, cedarwood is going to be the oil that people that enroll at a Diamond Club event are going to get for free this month. So it encourages people to enroll that month because they get an extra oil, sorry. People doing Diamond Club, they receive up to £600 of their expenses back to them. And also people doing Diamond Club can win big prizes if they finish in the top 10 in Europe. So the top prize is $5,000 usually. 5,000 euros actually. 5,000 euros, and the prizes go down, so they're different from points to money. So it can be, it's a great thing to do. Plus, you're building your business at the exact same time in a quite a rapid way. Now, you don't have to get 80 enrollments yourself, okay? Because that's a massive amount to do. The very easiest way to do it is to get your team members to do classes and you attend the class. So you have to be at the class because you're the Diamond Clubber, let's call it, and you have to be there. And because you're there, that makes it a Diamond Club event. That means everyone that enrolls at that event will receive a free cedarwood. You then get to put those enrollments through under your event, but the people that enrolled them, it still counts as their enrollment, and they put it wherever they want to in their team. It just means that you get to count them as one person towards your 18. Okay. We'll be doing more on this next week as well. We're just trying to cover it briefly so you can kind of get the point of it. Now, Diamond Club runs from the 1st of February next year, 2018, until May 31st, 2018. You must be Premier by the end of December if you wish to participate, and you must have 3 or more personal enrollments of 100 PV in the month of December to qualify. Okay, so those are the only criteria to qualify. You must be Premier, and you must have 3 personal enrollments of 100 PV or more. Now, you do need to get sponsored by your upline. Now, how Diamond Club is paid is doTERRA cover half of it. So all the expenses that you get back, doTERRA will cover half of it, and us as uplines will cover the other half. Okay, so it's not necessarily us, but it might be some other uplines. It might be Natalie, or it might be Mum. But what we recommend is that you get 3 upline sponsors to agree to sponsor you so that the cost is covered between the 3 of them. If you're not sure about that, come and chat to us. We will happily sponsor anybody that wants to do so. But we would love it if you could try and get 3. Okay. If you want any more info, then go to www.doterraeveryday.eu. And we recommend you don't go to sponsors just because they're your sponsor. You go to only sponsors that are gold and above and ask them. And gold and above, gold and platinums may say no because they're not earning enough, but just see if they are. So don't be upset with them if they do say no. We totally understand why. Okay. But they may want to help. So if you've got any questions, we can take that at the end of the call about that. Now, the weekly challenge. Woo! So we had some amazing results. Well done to all 5 of you. Could you pass me my phone a second?
Yeah.
Now, we just want to congratulate Linda Jomrose, who had an exceptional week. We had to clarify it with her because it was very, very good.
Slightly suspicious number.
It's very suspicious. But we clarified it with her, and this is what she said. She said she went to a cancer support group and did a talk, which got her loads of referrals. She did a stall at a friend's shop for 2 days. She made a point in getting over her fears and telling the people that she sees in her community at the community centre where she volunteers. She actually got the courage to talk to people about the business this week. And once she started, she couldn't stop. She spent most of Sunday writing up names and prioritising. She sent me other things that she's done since then. So what she just did, she just basically got on it and really was like, right, I'm putting all these names down that I've got, but I haven't actually done anything with yet. So if you've got people like that,
she did some finding activities on top of that
to get it all. So those were not current names. So well done to Linda. Please let me know, Linda, if you would like a Heloquism or an Immortelle. Here we go. This is what they look like. If you don't know what...
I feel like we need to give her both.
Heloquism or Immortelle. Holy cow, Rebecca.
I feel like we need to give her both. That's a huge amount of number. Sorry, but I think we need to give her both.
Linda, you've heard it right here. You're getting both.
It's been recorded.
Okay. So, but Andy's definitely not. Okay. Don't even think about Andy.
I don't think he wants the girly Immortelle. I think we're all right.
Okay. So, Andy, well done for getting 46. And that does not include Sue's.
Very well done.
Sue did 21.
Oh, wow.
And still counting. She kept on feeding me things through the day.
Oh, wow.
So, I don't know if that was the final figure. But she did 21. Definitely. And unfortunately, we couldn't count it in the numbers all added together.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
It's a one account.
So unfair on... are we not single?
Okay, on single people.
We're not on the same page here.
Okay, yes, we are, yes. We
totally
have discussed this.
We definitely did. Yeah, it's just single people, because to make it fair on single people.
Good thinking.
So well done, Andy. Well done to Craig. Well done to Chloe. And well done to Daniel. Daniel drove all the way to Sheffield and did a show on Saturday, and then drove all the way home and did a pantomime, and then looked after the kids while they were in hospital for 2 hours or something. Very busy day, Daniel. So, well done to everybody. We now just want to issue the challenge for this week. Okay, so the challenge for this week is all about follow-up, surprisingly. So you've all got lots of contacts. Follow-up. Now, you may have loads of contacts that you didn't contact last week. You can use all of these people. That doesn't matter. So all your contacts, you can get more contacts this week, and that will count towards the follow-up. That's fine. This is where you win points for, okay? And what we want you to tell us is not the points. We want you to tell us what you did during that week and how many you got of each. So you get 1 point for calling a contact and asking about a sample, coming to a class, or hosting a class. Okay, if you speak to somebody about those 2 things, okay, you get 1 point. Okay, so you could speak to 250 people and 250 people say no to you. That counts as 250 points, guys. Well done. Now, you get 2 points if after you spoke to them, you then send them a sample because they've asked you for a sample. So that's 2 points plus 1 point. It's not 2 points on its own. You get 2 points plus the 1 point. So that would be 3 points. Okay. If somebody books onto a class and they commit to the date right there and then, not someone giving you a woolly, yeah, I'll come to a class, that does not count. Okay. They need to have actually booked onto one of your classes, which means you're going to have to book class dates if you want to get points for this. Okay. So you'll get 3 points for that. So if you call somebody, you get 1 point. If you send them a sample, you'll get 3 points. Obviously, only send them a sample if they say they want a sample. Don't just send it out to them to get the points, even if they said no. Let's not have any of that. And then 3 points for booking somebody onto a class with a specific date. Now, the big points go to if you get somebody to host a class and they commit to a specific date. So you receive 10 points for that. So the total amount of points you could get for one person is 16 points. Okay? So there's many ways you can do it. You can break this down. You can use lists if you want to. We don't mind where you get your contacts from. That's fine. But you have to personally speak to them. Email doesn't count. Okay? Any kind of way of mass marketing people does not count. All right? Just to be clear, because I know how my brain works. So, so you need to personally speak to them. It could be a private message. That's fine. It could be a private email that's bespoke to them. That's fine as well. But please, no mass emails. Okay, and ideally you are calling them and getting the contact. And then I hope that makes sense. If you do, the 3 highest scores win an oil of your choice. Okay. I've noticed so many spelling mistakes on these slides. I'm sorry. There is not that one. Hopefully that's a very exciting follow-up challenge. And this week I've got some following up to do. We were supposed to put on the challenge winners what Rebecca and I did, because it was well over 300. Well over. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't at all. I did 8. Sean and Rebecca did
smashed him.
18. Oh. So so good luck this week, guys. If you've got any questions, then let us know. Over to you, Vex. Okay.
Okay, hi everyone. So cool, yeah, well done to everyone. Brilliant contacting. So just to summarise last week's call, just to remind you what we discussed about, because I know a whole week you can forget. So basically we talked about how to get people motivated to hosting classes. So really to kind of not miss the fact that if you just ask people if they want to help pay for their own oils, then if you get enough of them doing that, then realistically they need to get to Elite to pay for their own oils. So helping them just over time to do that will help you with your goals as well. So that's really good for them to be able to help them pay for their own oils. Inviting people more to look at the business side. So, always just mentioning it. Just saying to people that there's the opportunity and presenting that as a possibility for people, and also showing people the different ways you can do it. So there's not just one way of building this business. And then when people do say they're interested in knowing about the business, then not to pounce on them, not to bombard them, but to simply send them an initial email with some information on, and you can use the email that we have, and then arrange a chat with them to deduce whether they're more of a sharer or a builder. And this is where we kind of left off last week, where we left them at the fact that if they're a builder, then this is when ideally you want to set up a 3-way call with your upline. So a 3-way call is basically getting your upline who's ideally gold or above, because they've had quite a bit of business experience at that point. They've got some credibility in the business for this new person coming in, and they'll be a good support for you as well. So general things to look for in a builder. This is covered in other trainings, but just to give you a snapshot, these are the kind of things you're going to be thinking of as you're talking to this potential builder. Just kind of clocking these things in your mind, and you can start to qualify them yourself. Now, the last one, the committed and capable, we haven't discussed as much. Basically, committed is you kind of ideally want someone that's going to show up, don't you? So committed is if you say you're going to have a meeting with them, then they show up to that meeting. So those kind of things. You've sent them an email, and if they've looked at it, you can tell they're into it, they're interested, and they're a committed person. And so that's the kind of person you perhaps want to put close to you on your business placements tree. So these are the people who you're going to want to work closely with. And then capable, that's a bit harder to assess, and we go through this more in the placements training. But capable, if they've already started talking to people about the oils, then that's a great sign, isn't it? So these are just things to have in your head when you're looking for definitely your frontline builders. But of course, we welcome everyone, whoever wants to do the business at whatever speed. But this is all about qualifying them and also inspiring them as well. So what's the purpose for them? Why do they want to come onto a 3-way call with yourself and your upline? Well, first of all, it helps them to see the support team that they've got. So for someone coming into this business, they want to know that they're going to be supported, and it's actually a lovely business in that way, isn't it? We all kind of support each other, and that's quite unique, actually. So it's nice for them to have that, support the other face that's going to be supporting them. So it makes them feel the team spirit, and and another voice, same thing really. So it also, you know, makes them feel special that someone else wants to come on and offer their support. You know, that's definitely what we found. And also at the same time, it adds that kind of professionalism into it as well. And it also helps them to see the potential of this business opportunity more clearly, and gives them added belief, because if they're seeing someone that's being really successful in the business, then that's always going to be a good thing. So what's the purpose for you? Why do you want to do a three-way call? So you want to kind of infuse in them, I guess, some more commitment, if that's what they're looking for as well. So this three-way call is all about finding out what they want, and then, you know, also communicating kind of what you want as well, and helps them to see that this is, you know, it's a business as well, if they choose to make it a business. So that's where the upline can be a bit more professional, because certainly if it's your friend that you've brought into the business, it's hard, isn't it, to kind of hold them accountable or kind of ask them specific questions about what they want to do with the business. Whereas if your upline comes on and does it, then that adds a bit more weight to it, we find. So it helps you to qualify them, basically. So ideally you want to do this three-way call within 14 days of enrolling somebody. So if you're very new to this business, then you may not know this, but from the moment you enroll someone, you have 14 days in which to decide where you're going to put them in your organization. And as you get to know the business more, and don't worry if you don't, you know, understand this bit yet, the strategy does come to work with your upline with this. But you want to qualify someone as soon as you can and decide where you want to put them then on your organization to help them and to help you. It's the best place for both.
Sneaking in.
And the purpose for you is to inspire them. And obviously the more inspired they are, the better for everyone as well. So that's kind of the purpose of the three-way call. So after you've done the first three-way call, you want to set up another call, but we're just gonna keep showing, it's showing my desktop, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool, so you should be able to see this now. So this is just an example of how a three-way call would go. So again, if you're completely new to this business, what we're doing in these weeks at the moment is taking you through kind of a step-by-step training of what you would do with a new builder. So if you don't have any builders yet and you're really new to this business, which I know many of you are, then just look at it as this is kind of a process that you will take your builders through, and you can also kind of do it on yourself as well. So use this as a learning process and relate it to you as well. So that's how you can make this relevant. So the first three-way call basically is just quite a casual conversation. It's not completely formal where you have specific questions. But for example, at the beginning of the call, the person who's got their new builder there, and in this case, that's Louise. So Louise comes onto the call, and Louise introduces her new potential builder to her upline, kind of makes introductions. And before the three-way call, you know, Louise is going to have wanted to have told her new builder, Anthony, you know, that I'm going to, you know, get a chat with my upline, Katie, so you can kind of have a chat to someone who's been doing the business for quite a long time. She's very successful in the business, and she'll love to meet you and to help you get going with this, and she can answer some more questions. So that kind of a thing, really. So Louise kind of introduces the conversation, and then and then the upline will basically just kind of chat to that person and find out about that person. So really just want to get a feel. So it's someone else coming in and getting a feel for that person as well. So it's kind of a casual interview, really, isn't it? The right kind of thing.
It is.
Do you want to say anything?
I think what you said is right. Really good.
Okay, thanks, baby. So you want to find out about the past work and their present work, kind of their situation. So by these questions, you know, you're just finding out about them. It's a nice conversation. You're bonding with them, but at the same time, you're finding out about how much availability they have, you know, what kind of past experience they've had. Have they had any experience in network marketing before? Kind of what's their network like? All these type of questions. Do they have children? You know, all these kind of things will just help you build a picture of this person and how much they can kind of dedicate to the business.
The questions are all based around trying to really qualify. So always remember what you're trying to do here. You're trying to qualify the builder, not for them, for you, because what's best for you is best for them. So what we're saying is, and I said that the wrong way around, because you're actually trying to find out what's best for them, but you're in this process, you're trying to find out what's best for you as to where to place them, because that will ultimately be the best place for them. Because if you put them on your front line, as a lot of you know, and then not interested or not going for it like you would like them to, then you can be pushing way too hard on somebody that's never said they want to go as fast as you want them to go. So you're always looking to make this point. You're trying to get questions that find out all those points. If somebody says they work 80 hours a week and they've never told you that before, you can pretty much guarantee they're not going to go fast with this, unless they've got an amazing network. Okay, so it is possible, but that's what you're looking to do.
Absolutely. So, you also want to ask these questions as well, find out, is there anything they're not liking about their job at the moment? Most people do want to change their jobs or change their situation, have more time, perhaps have more money. They don't want to have that commute to work anymore. So in these kind of questions, you're finding out, perhaps their why for doTERRA, why do they want to do doTERRA? And that's important to find out, where their kind of desires are really, and where they're hungry, what they want to change in their life, because that will help them be successful. So then the more direct questions, after you've had a nice kind of chat with them, you want to ask something like this, what has attracted you to doTERRA, or what can you see doTERRA being able to do for you? So you can kind of get an idea of where they're picturing doTERRA at this point, because we can talk and talk, can't we, and almost convince ourselves as well that people want to do this as a business and how much they want to do it as a business. But it's really important to hear from them. So how do they see doTERRA fitting into their life right now? And this can change, but you want to know right now. And then, of course, ask them if they have any immediate questions about the doTERRA business. So they might have some, real questions that perhaps are stopping them from progressing past any point at all. So you want to get them out of the way. If they are kind of more specific questions, which I sometimes get about, so how do I get going with this business? And then I'll say, well, we'll cover that in the next call. And if they ask about sampling or anything like that, then I'll say that will come up in your training. Is there anything you have, any concerns about the company? Those kind of questions is what you want to address now. If they haven't already been addressed, that's a good place to do that. And then this is the really cool and interesting part, is you want to ask them straight, are they looking to supplement or replace their income? Get to the bottom of it, so it helps you really get the picture now. And then, ask them, so what does that mean to supplement? What does it mean to replace? You want to kind of get some kind of figure so it can give you an idea of what this person really wants financially in their goals. And then, of course, you want to ask them how much time roughly they can spend a week, because then you can help them to make this a realistic goal. So you have their long-term goal there, and you want to write these long-term goals down in this conversation. So both the sponsor, the person that's brought this builder into the business, and the upline will also do the same as well. And at this point, I suggest you look at the average earnings chart. So pull it up in your call, and you can go through this with them, and you can then ask them, what their kind of short-term goal is. So this is a good time I always mention how generous the compensation plan is and how incredible it is. But it's also a business that you have to build up over time. So what is their initial goal? What's their immediate need that they need to meet in the next kind of few months? And get them to tell you that as well, because this is where we're going to do the follow-up call, which we'll go through in a second, that can help you form a specific business plan for this person. So you're going to ask them when they'd like to achieve this goal by. And then you can look at the average chart together and just suss if this is actually a realistic goal or not. So again, if you've just come into this business, then obviously you're not going to be doing these calls, okay? You're definitely going to be getting someone in your upline to do this call, so you don't need to worry too much about this, but just to understand the purpose of it and what's going to happen. But if you have just come into the business, then you can kind of do this assessment on yourself if it hasn't already been done as well, and set your own kind of business plan for you to follow.
Why do you get the upline to do it? Why is it critical to get the upline to do it?
You testing me?
No, I'm just like asking questions for the audience.
So I said at the beginning that it gives it credibility because the upline's been doing the business for a lot longer. And also team support as well, which is really important. So those are the two kind of main things, I would say. Do you think?
I think so too. Yeah.
I think so. And then at the end, the upline wants to share their kind of business story as well. So this is where you want to, really infuse the inspiration as well. So it's also to inspire them, huh? You really want to inspire them. So share your story. And if you are still quite new to the business, then share someone else's story. So my upline is a diamond and they've been doing it for so long and now they're on their way to kind of financial freedom or whatever. Share an inspiring but a real story as well. Don't fabricate it. We don't need to, but just be real with people. And when we do it, we're quite open with the fact that at the beginning for us, it wasn't a get rich quick scheme. We didn't get rich overnight. We built a business. And so we want to manage people's expectations in that way too, which is why the average earnings chart, we think is really good because it does do that, huh?
It makes it realistic. Because most people want quick results and they want to be seeing money within 6 months. And, 80% of the time, people aren't going to see that much money in the first 6 months. And so it's good about managing that expectations that if people last a year or, 6 months to a year, they're going to be fine. Mm-hmm. And then they'll start seeing money. So if we can get people to see that realisticness and they can picture that they're going to do that, then it'll be fine.
Absolutely. Then it's also really important to show them the potential they can earn, which is again why that average earnings chart is so good, because it is an incredible compensation plan and the financial benefits are life-changing as well. So it's just kind of managing the expectations, but also inspiring people as well.
That's not to say that people can't go quicker, and
Absolutely.
You can tell people that, but you can also let people know that that's not necessarily the norm. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. So then at the end of that, so this conversation really shouldn't last more than 30 minutes maximum, unless they have tons of questions. But yeah, just say, it's been lovely getting to know you. And then as the upline, so if you're the upline here, you're then going to say you're going to work with their direct upline, their sponsor. So in this case, Louise, who brought them onto the call to put a business plan together specific to them, which is quite exciting. Because then they have something to work on. So now we're going to go to that. Save. Can everyone see the screen, by the way? So we're definitely sharing the screen. Yeah, Lisa's nodding. Brilliant, thank you. So after the first three-way call, then so you're going to give it about 2 to 3 days, sometimes a week, whatever, but you want to give a bit of space. And the reason for doing this is we'll give you time to put the business plan together a little bit with the upline, but also to give them time to ponder, because often what happens is once you've given people the possibility of what they can earn and you've discussed their immediate needs and they've said perhaps they have 5 hours a week or 10 hours, then they might actually see, gosh, if I put in 15 hours, I could get a bit further. So they might themselves, just adapt their hours or adapt something they can do because they'll kind of ponder the vision of it. And we've had that quite a few times, haven't we?
We have. But also vice versa.
Yeah,
so people that have said they could do 20, 30 hours a week have come back and said to us, I can only give 5, 10 hours a week. And that's brilliant. That's exactly what you want to hear because they are now being realistic with you. Mm-hmm. So you're now properly qualifying your builders so you know where to place them.
Exactly. And of course, you're still going to help them, that's brilliant. You just need to know where to place them and how much help they're going to need then. And you don't want to be too pushy with people that only want to do one class every other month, for example.
If a conversation like that makes them go down from 30 to 15, doing a week of the business is definitely going to do that. And so it's important that they do. You find out before you place them exactly what their intentions are and what they can commit to.
Okay, so now we're going to share with you. So that's the purpose of this second three-way call now. So 2 or 3 days later, then you do this. There we go. That's the one I want. So again, if you're new to the business, then put your own name in there. You can do it on yourself. If not, if you're going to be someone that's going to be bringing people into the business, then this is good for you to kind of see what's going to happen. And if you are gold or above, then this will be you kind of doing this.
It's nice for people to see their own name, that you've made a bespoke plan for them.
Yeah, and it's very simple. It's a very simple plan, but it's bespoke to them. So you put their name in there. So you're going to be putting their long-term goals in that you discussed from the week before. So you have a clear vision of what they want to get to, and that could be diamond or it could be platinum or more. And then the amount, the weekly time they're going to put into it as well. So you have that in writing. And then their short-term goal, because that's the one you're really going to work with at the moment. You know, the long-term goal is lovely, but you do need a short-term goal to work to. So breaking this goal down to help them achieve their smaller goals. And then you're setting a date by when they can achieve that. So you're going to write that down. Okay, so then you can look at this and just together discuss whether those goals are realistic. So again, you can review the average hours and say, you know, you have said you've only got, say, 10 hours and you want to achieve Premier in 6 months. So you can say that is possible. We tell people that is possible. You can see the average is people are putting in 15 hours, let's say. It just means you need to make those hours more effective, or if you found a builder soon, then that would obviously affect it. So there are these interacting factors as well, and the longer you're in the business, the more you come to understand that. But these are the averages. You can just kind of discuss it with them and just make sure they're happy with their goals, really, that we've set. And then you can put in there, so what's their rank they want to get to first, and it's often silver. It's quite a normal kind of initial rank. And then put the date in there. And then this is just good to have on their business plan that because you're going to email them this business plan after this conversation. So just so they can have just a summary, a snapshot of what the business is going to be for them. So, you know, they need to purchase the resources. They've probably got their oils already. You want them to expect to have a call with you at least once a week, unless they're going really slowly, then there'll be no need for that. Or not really slowly, but some people just aren't into that anyway, having a weekly call. So again, adapt it to them. And learning about the oils in the business, writing a list. We don't go into this, just say you'll receive training on this, but this is just a summary. And they would have seen this in the business email anyway. So it's just like another summary, just to make it really clear for them. And then you want to talk to them about choosing a date to launch. So you want to, you know, this is when we've talked before about if people are wanting to do this as a business, then I do suggest to them that we try and do 4 classes within a short period of time. Now, again, we can adapt this to 2 classes, 2 really good classes. So it's about chatting to that person and explaining why we suggest 4 classes. And it's because the more, you know, potential of finding a good business person from those 4 classes is much more likely. And if you do them within 14 days, you can then put everyone underneath them. So that's one of the strategies behind it. Also, it helps them to learn quickly how to do a class if they're going to see it 4 times in a row. Also, if there's a really bad class, which we all have, where people don't turn up or no one signs up, then it's diluted when you've got a few classes that week. So just explain the reasons behind it so they can see that. And then the choice is up to them. So there's never any pressure. You can say if you prefer to do 2 classes, then that's fine too. So it's just about choosing a date here when they're going to say, do you know what, I'm ready to start my business and kind of start going for it in whatever way they want to go for it. So this is where you can start doing a little class plan with them, and they might need to think about the date. You know, you might not be able to fill this in straight away, but they can fill this in themselves. And just, you know, at the bottom there's that guaranteed elite in 6 weeks, which, you know, people can do if they really want to just go for it, and they've got 40 hours a week perhaps to give to it, which some people do come into the business and they just want to go running, sprinting, then that's what we'd recommend if they can.
If they do that, they're probably going to hit Premier as well.
Exactly. That's way beyond probably elite.
It just guarantees it. It definitely guarantees it.
It does.
Having a couple of bad classes and a couple of good ones.
But again, it's just making it, you know, tailoring it towards their needs. So the class plan. So it's good to kind of have a 6-class plan, because it helps people to realize that it's good to kind of plan classes in advance and just have them in your head. But especially those first 4 classes, just get some dates for those first 4 classes, because that's usually where the upline, so the sponsor, will go and help someone teach their first at least 2 classes if possible, but up to 4 classes really, just to help that new builder get going and feel confident. So it'd be good to get those in the dates so everyone knows when they are, and to have them as close as possible. And by the way, the continuing classes that you get from this is from getting people to host, isn't it? You know, not always expanding your own network. So if you can get people from each class to host, then that's how it continues quite easily then. So then this is the last part of the business plan. We want to just break down the goals even more for them. Now I tend to kind of almost work backwards with this. So I'll find out, you know, what their goal is, and then depending on how many hours they can do, I'll say, right, well, if you can only do 10 hours and you want to get to silver really quickly, you really need to focus those 10 hours on finding business people. Because if you can find 3 business people in the next kind of couple of months and help them get to elite, then that's a possible goal. If it's just you doing the classes and the contacts, then that's not a realistic goal. So it's kind of looking at their goal and, you know, finding a way to help them see how they can achieve it. And then again, you might have to adapt this. And then once they've seen how many classes they have to do to achieve their goal, you might have to go back and change the initial goal. So it's all about working out a business plan that they don't feel overwhelmed by, that they feel excited by, and they can see the vision, and they've got a base to kind of follow. So it's a nice structure for them. And I know many people like a bit of structure. So I'm just going to give you a couple of examples of ones that I did recently. I'm not having the names of the people on them. But just so you can kind of see how it works. So first business plan. Here we go. So you put the name there, as I said. This is a real business plan. So this person wants to earn £30,000 a month. You know, that's their long-term goal. 10 hours a week is what they have. So their short-term goal is £800, and they want to achieve this by September.
And it's good to put, rather than, the reason to do money is because people, rather than rank, is because people don't understand ranks. Mm-hmm. They want to know and basically a rank means how much money you're going to make, basically. And so that's what you've got to boil it down to for people. Okay.
Exactly. And also a rank is not a specific amount of money either. As you saw in the averages, it can be quite varied. So it's good to be more specific. So yeah, thank you. So short-term goals. Okay, then you have that. So the rank will be silver. That's £800. You put silver by September the 18th. That's this person's goal. Okay. So I've just done this, just filled this in just for now. We hadn't done this part, but this person did 2 classes in October. I've got 2 classes in November, 2 classes in December. That's what we suggested. So this is how we break this one down. So we said for her to be able to get to silver, or him or her, to get to silver by September with 10 hours a week, which isn't a huge amount of time, you know, it's okay, but it's not a huge amount of time, then really they do need to be getting builders quite quickly. That's how we made it a realistic goal. So we put in, you know, first builder end of Jan, second builder by end of Feb, third builder by end of May. That gives this person time to be able to train these builders and get them going to be able to get to elite by September, which will make this person silver. So that's realistic. So then we kind of broke it down even more and said, okay, so if you can be doing, you know, 2 classes a month as well with this, or 10 one-on-ones. So then that means you need to be sampling 20 people plus a month. So that's how we kind of break it down.
And that means you would also be enrolling 6 a month. Yeah,
if they could aim to enroll 6 a month, but focusing definitely on builders this person because they want to get that quick.
And also you want to host. Their aim is for once a month. They want to get somebody to host a class.
Yes, exactly. So that's one example. I'll just show another example, and hopefully you'll get the kind of gist of it. We'll go to the chat in a second. Second business plan. Okay, so second business plan. Let's call this one a he. The other one was definitely more of a she.
They were probably both he's, I reckon.
Probably both. We've got lots of he's now as well as she's. So the goal, so amount per month. So long-term goal for this person is 2,000. You know, that's this person's goal. They've got 25 hours a week to put in. Short-term, 300 to 500. Time to achieve goal by the 1st of April. So, you know, this person will probably change their long-term goal, and that often happens. But initially, this is what we're looking at. So again, we look at that. So rank of platinum by 31st of December. This is realistic because of this amount of hours this person has. But still, we're going to need to get builders to make that goal realistic. Okay, so we're just getting going. So 2 classes booked in December, and then 3 classes in Jan, and then so on. So the differences with this person's business plan, because we're going to be going quite a bit faster, is to aim to teach 3 classes a month. And actually I should change that, probably more than 6. But really, by teaching 3 classes a month, we're trying to find more builders. So we're going to find 2 builders by February 18th, and then the 3rd by May. Okay, and then get them going. So that's, you know, a bit of a difference to the other one.
Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, well, you can't legislate for when builders come on board. And you're right to an extent, you can't. But having a goal and an intention to try and find a builder by those certain dates, there's something behind that that actually helps you to find those builders in that time period. It's really, so it focuses you to actually think about it and start planning for it. And before you know it, you actually, because you're trying to hit that goal, you're actually talking to people more about the business. So the opportunities more come up. So that's why it's important to do those goals.
Yeah, absolutely. And just gives you a base to follow, because obviously, you know, we say this over and over again, this business is your business. So you get to choose exactly how you're going to do it. You get to go at the pace that you want to go at. And we just teach you kind of the basics. But it gives you a skeleton to kind of follow. So you can be thinking in your head, and this definitely helped me. And for some of you, it might not help, but I think most people do like that kind of guide. So they know, you know, in order to be successful then at this, how many people should I be looking to sample a month? How many classes should I be looking to do? And how many enrollments? You know, these are key things to be thinking of. And like Nathan said, you know, you're still going to go out and do these things, but you're going to have that intention there. And then you're more likely to make that happen.
So thank you everybody for listening. I'll end the recording, then we can open it up to questions.
Perfect.
Well done, Rebecca. That was excellent.
Thank you, Nathan.
Okay.